who's the producer of DCTV, and the Southwest TV Translator Association underwrites the news show.
If you have a news topic or tips you'd like to see covered, give us a call. The studio number is 677-4119.
Again, today's show is live on Wednesday at noon and rebroadcast at 3 and 6 p.m. and again re-aired on Saturday at noon, 3 and 6.
Coming up, local fire update, a look at the future for agriculture, and more.
And also the weather, sheriff's roundup, and area happenings. Today is September 20th, 2017, and now the news at noon. According to the BLM and Cortez Journal, the Secret Canyon fire just 9 miles east of Dove Creek is almost out, according to fire officials. Crews have been pulled off the fire, and it is on a periodic patrol status. Patrick Seekins, Dolores District Fire Management Officer, said, "We have not seen any smoke on it in days. It got some heavy rain, but we will continue to monitor it." The fire was started by lightning on August 26 and stopped growing at 115 acres. Some smoke is still visible deep in the Dolores River Canyon. Also updated, the Draw Fire, 8 miles northeast of Dolores, stayed within the predetermined containment lines, and as planned, San Juan National Forest spokeswoman Ann Bond said the total acreage came to 1,438 acres. Burnout operations were effective, which generated a good plume of smoke that drifted east and southeast. The next story coming up on Kelsey is going to determine what Zinke had to say, as a close-up on Kelsey, for the national wildfire issue. There are no problems, and in the next couple of days the public will notice less, if any, smoke, he said. There's just a little bit left to burn within the containment area. 15 firefighters with 2 fire trucks are working to control the Draw Fire within a 1,400-acre containment area bordered by Forest Roads 528 and 527 on the east and south, and Forest Road 527 on the north and west side. There are no road or trail closures at this time. However, some sections of the Boggy Draw Trail system might be temporarily closed if the fire comes too close. Roadside signs will be posted to alert the public to fire operations, risks, and closures. The public is asked to avoid the area. Smoke is expected to be visible from the Dolores Norwood Road, Forest Road 526. Smoke might also settle at night in Dolores and the surrounding area. With the Forest Service at a planning level 5 nationally, firefighting resources are focused on fighting several fires in the west. Therefore, a very conservative approach is being taken with the Draw Fire, and Bond, a Forest Service public information officer, stated. The fire was reported on September 5th by a McPhee campground host and likely was caused by lightning a few days before. By September 6th, it had burned 12 acres. It grew to 55 acres on September 7th and then to 120 acres by September 8th.
From the Cortez Journal, as the West contends with big wildfire season, Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke urged his staff to take aggressive action to prevent wildfires. His memo calls on managers to think differently about reducing the accumulation of dense vegetation. He wants vegetation cleared if it encroaches on roads or buildings, and dead trees removed if they can spread fire to valuable property or beyond the boundaries of parks, refuges, or other Interior Department lands. Forest fire experts say Zinke gets some things right in his memo, but caution that its goal to stop and prevent forest fires is unattainable and not even desirable. They say Zinke's memo and accompanying press release perpetuate the public's misperception about fire by suggesting that by thinning forests, forest managers can avoid or snuff out forest fires. Wildfires have burned more than 8 million acres this year, far exceeding the annual average over the last 10 years. In Montana, Zinke's home state, drought-fueled wildfires scorched nearly 1.3 million acres, about 4 times the average over the past decade. Fire severely damaged a historic dormitory in Glacier National Park's Sperry Chalet. Zinke's memo states, "It is well settled that the steady accumulation of vegetation in areas that have historically burned at frequent intervals exacerbates fuel condition and often leads to larger and higher intensity fires." That's accurate, Larson says, but what's missing is the reason that forests are choked with vegetation. The problem with fuels is that we've suppressed fire, Larson says. It's a problem we've created for us, ourselves. Zinke's memo advocates limiting fire in the future, which will continue this problem, according to Larson. More aggressive thinning in low elevation forests near communities could limit the damage to homes and other structures, Larson says. It also could minimize the severity of future fires in those areas so that more trees survive those fires. The professors also take issue with Zinke's characterization of fire in the West as catastrophic. Many Western species have life cycles that are dependent on fire. For example, at higher elevations, the cones from lodgepole pines don't open without fire, meaning the trees can't propagate themselves. There's no reason that fires can be catastrophic when they're close to communities and destroy homes or buildings. Experts said if we value landscapes that include national processes, we have to learn how to live and work with having fire in the landscape.
And now, could I pause for a moment and have the cameraman do a close-up on our second, for the next thing. Definitely, fires are causing a lot of congestion out there for a lot of people. Move on to the next story. From the Durango Herald, Gunther Ott is part of America's next generation of farmers and ranchers. He's the first of the third generation to continue the agricultural stewardship of the James Ranch north of Durango. Ott, age 24, manages Way Good Pork, spelled W-H-E-Y, and irrigates the land on his family's Animas Valley Ranch. He took a 3-year gap period after high school, during which he worked on a ranch in Montana, a vineyard in Germany, and joined the National Guard. In 2015, Ott said it was time to return home. He said, "I've always wanted to come back and work on the farm. There are benefits and disadvantages to working on the ranch. You don't get much vacation time and you don't have set hours, but the benefits are everything around you. You produce something from nothing every year. It is a beautiful finished product," he said. Kate Greenberg with the National Young Farmers Coalition said the average age for a Colorado farmer is almost 59 compared with the national average age of 58.3. Similarly, farmers older than 65 outnumber farmers younger than 35 by 6 to 1. Farmers are aging and we don't have enough young people coming in to fill the gap, she said. We expect 2/3 of farmland to change hands in the next 20 years. The National Young Farmers Coalition is the only national advocacy organization focused on the needs of young and beginning farmers and ranchers. Young farmers include all people who are kicking off a career in agriculture, typically in their first 10 years of growing. They could be a first-year farm apprentice or someone pursuing a midlife career change to agriculture. The coalition has 37 chapters in 26 states, including 4 in Colorado. There's a noticeable decline in people pursuing careers in agriculture. Retiring farmers can't always expect their kids to take over anymore, Greenberg said. There are young farmers who want to take over but can't afford the land and equipment to get started. Greenberg was one of the driving forces behind the state's first ever interim study committee on farmers and their struggles. The issue of who will take over the next generation of agriculture is very urgent, and the creation of the committee was one step towards recognizing that, she said. Created with the help of State Senator Kerry Donovan, the committee is tasked with studying how state and local policies can better assist aspiring farmers and ranchers. She said the committee surveyed farmers and ranchers across the country, and access to land and capital are the main barriers they face. The program would give existing farmers and ranchers more options for looking outside of their families for young, eligible agriculturalists to take over when they retire. Ott said the learning curve is also one of the hardest parts of being a new farmer. The committee is a good start towards addressing the issues, but no single piece of legislation will be a fix-all. A committee member stated, "It is a good first step in terms of thinking about how complex this issue is. This is a good way to get the ball rolling."
Reported in the Durango Herald, Colorado Senator Michael Bennet, along with Senators Tom Udall, a Democrat of New Mexico, Martin Henrich, a Democrat of New Mexico, Ron Wyden, Democrat of Oregon, and Edward Markey, Democrat of Massachusetts, introduced the Hard Rock Mining and Reclamation Act of 2017 on Tuesday to update the nation's antiquated hard rock mining laws. The bill would reform the General Mining Law of 1872 that allows companies to extract minerals such as gold and silver on federal public lands without paying royalties, and while avoiding liability for any environmental damage. The proposed legislation would help pay for abandoned mine cleanup and prevent future disasters. Bennett referenced the 2015 Gold King mine spill that sent an estimated 3 million gallons of heavy metals-laced mine wastewater into the Animas and San Juan rivers in a news release on Tuesday. The Gold King spill continues to be a reminder of the threat that abandoned mines pose, he said in the release. Hard rock mining is a part of our heritage in Colorado, but it is long past time to reform our antiquated mining laws. This bill would provide the resources necessary to help clean up the thousands of abandoned mines in Colorado, improve water quality, and prevent a future disaster for downstream communities. If passed, the legislation would make seven primary changes to the General Mining Law of 1872. Required hard rock mining companies to pay an annual rental payment for claimed public lands similar to other users. Set a royalty rate for new operations of 2 to 5% based on the gross income of new production on federal land. Create a hard rock minerals reclamation fund for abandoned mine cleanup through an abandoned mine reclamation fee of 0.6% to 2%. Give the Secretary of the Interior the authority to grant royalty relief to mining operations based on economic factors. Require an exploration permit and mining operations permit for non-casual mining operations on federal land. Permit states, political subdivision, and Indian tribes to petition the Secretary of the Interior to have lands withdrawn from mining and require an expedited review of areas that may be inappropriate for mining. The bill is supported by leaders throughout southwest Colorado, including La Plata County Commissioner Julie Westendorf, Durango City Councilor Dean Brookie, San Juan County Commissioner Pete McKay, and Trout Unlimited's Ty Churchwell.
From the Cortez Journal, a proposal by Green Table Farm near Mancos to hold events hit a snag in the Montezuma County Planning Commission on September 14th. Farm owner Tyler Hoyt is seeking a high-impact permit and special use permit to hold a variety of small events, such as fundraisers, weddings, and educational events at his family's farm off Colorado Highway 184. He said the main goal is to expand our agriculture business by hosting on-farm dinners for our customers, but also to have farm-to-table weddings and educational events. We see an opportunity to expand into the realm of agritourism and sell the farm experience. He said he does not expect to have more than 5 events per year and said they would be smaller scale and not go late into the night. But several neighbors voiced concerns about the plan, saying it lacked specifics. They also expressed worry about increased traffic, hours of events, and noise. Howard Cantor of the nearby SunWest subdivision said that he lives in the area for the peace and quiet and, quote, would not have bought here if he knew it was going to be next to an event venue. Planning Commissioner Bob Clayton agreed that the proposal needs more specifics, but he added that each event would be reviewed for impacts with input from neighbors. He added that a few events per year would not ruin anyone's life. Property rights extend to both sides of the fence, he said. Hoyt was urged to submit an updated application with more details, including event hours, amount of people, parking, and bathroom accommodation for guests, whether there will be camping for live music, and a plan for traffic control. Planning Director Leanne Milligan said public and commercial events that exceed county threshold standards, such as more than 15 round trips per day, require county notification, review, and approval to ensure neighbors have been notified and impacts controlled. The Planning Board said the issue could not be decided before September 30th, when a farm-to-table fundraiser has been scheduled to benefit the School to Farm program. Neighbors in the room did not object to allowing the first event as long as the long-term proposal was resubmitted and reviewed again at the next planning meeting on October 12th. The Planning Board mostly agreed and voted 4-1 to recommend to the County Commission that the first event be allowed to go on with certain contingencies, including no camping, quiet time beginning at 7, event signs on the highway, and portable restrooms. The County Commission will consider a variance to allow the first event at its meeting on September 25th.
From the Cortez Journal, with prime autumn colors just around the corner, it's time to plan some day trips to take in the wonder of the season. The area from Coal Bank Pass to Mullis Pass will offer the greatest amount of color this weekend, according to the San Juan National Forest. Currently, the Forest Service says aspen and some high-elevation bushes are changing color. The next 2 weekends should be the best for colors in the central San Juans. As of Wednesday, the greatest percentage of color change was between Silverton and Red Mountain Pass at 55 to 80%. Dolores to Lizard Head Pass was at 10%. Mancos, La Plata's also were at 10%. The Forest Service updates its fall color report frequently to see what areas are turning. Recommended viewing areas and peak periods, visit fs.usda.gov. Weather is expected to be clear this weekend, and the Forest Service recommends motorists pull over to take photographs rather than drive slowly and impede traffic on mountain roads. During spring and summer leaves contain chlorophyll, which absorbs energy from the sun and gives leaves their green color. In fall, leaves stop producing as much chlorophyll as days shorten, and that unmasks the leaves' other colors, yellows and oranges, which are hidden by nutrient-producing chlorophyll. Everyone wants to see your fall foliage photos. You can email your photos to dcbnnews@gmail.com. Tell us when and where you took the photo, or go ahead and post a follow-up on our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page. And now, here's our weather report.
Still sunny and clear for today and Thursday, with winds increasing tomorrow as compared to today. Gusts up to 30 are expected today and tonight, with gusts up to 35 for tomorrow and 30 for Friday. Slight chances for rain Friday have been delayed a half day, so chances begin in the afternoon and carry through Saturday afternoon. Those chances are now expected to clear Saturday night and leave us with a mostly sunny Sunday. Tropical Storm Jose will continue to weaken as it moves northward well off the northeast coast. Jose will still bring heavy rainfall to the northeast and southern New England coastlines. Coverage of precipitation will increase this morning and into the evening. By Thursday, precipitation will completely taper off the New England coast. There's a slight risk of flash flooding with this heavy rainfall. Dangerous surf conditions and rip current threats still exist for the beaches of North Carolina and New England. A line of thunderstorms will push across the upper Midwest through Wednesday morning. Showers and thunderstorms will continue along the cold front that will extend from the upper Great Lakes to the Central Plains. By Thursday, light showers will linger along the upper Great Lakes. Expect more rain from the upper Midwest by Friday morning ahead of another approaching cold front. The stormy pattern for the Pacific Northwest and Intermountain West will continue through the short-term period. Heavy rainfall is expected throughout the Pacific Northwest and into the Intermountain West today, with higher elevation snow for the Cascades and Northern Rockies. By Thursday, rainfall activity will increase in the Pacific Northwest while increasing across the Central Great Basin. Snowfall will also be possible in the higher elevations of the Northern Rockies, Utah, Nevada, and even the highest peak in the Sierra Nevada mountains on Thursday. By Friday morning, precipitation will move eastward across the Northern Rockies and Great Basin. Locally heavy rainfall can be expected for South and Central Texas on Thursday. The Gulf Coast can expect scattered showers with locally heavy rainfalls and thunderstorms Thursday. Today's high is forecast at 73, tomorrow's 75, then falling down through the 60s to a 62 for Sunday's high. Lows will be near 50 for Wednesday and Thursday, and then 43 for Friday, and a 39 for Saturday night. Winds will continue varying from 10 to 20 for the days and nights, with gusts to 30 through Friday. We have a slight chance for rain Friday night and Saturday. And now back to the news.
According to the Durango Herald, a 16-year-old girl requesting help with a stalled vehicle was allegedly a front for two acquaintances to break into a home on Bayfield Park on Saturday, according to the Bayfield Marshal's office. Just before noon, a woman on Bayfield Parkway called police to report that two males were walking down an alley with rifles. Deputy Joseph Hokenadel responded and arrested the two males. One of them had a loaded pistol on his waistband. Caleb Solak, age 20, of Ignacio, has been charged with second-degree burglary of a dwelling. Two teenagers, the girl and a 17-year-old male, were arrested and charges are pending against them, said Sergeant Dan Abdella with the Marshal's office. They were taken to Denier Youth Service Center in Durango, then released to their parents. The two juveniles have Ignacio addresses and live in New Mexico. The three had parked a vehicle at the Bayfield post office, then the girl asked a nearby resident to help her get her car started. He and the girl went across the street to the parked car. A kill switch was on the car battery, and it could be turned off to simulate a dead battery, according to the investigation. While the homeowner tried to assist the teenage girl with her car, Solak and the other juvenile went into his house and stole cash, 4 rifles, and a loaded pistol. The neighbor who called the police also took pictures of the two as they walked down the alley. They hid the rifles and were heading back to the post office when Hoekennadel apprehended them. While patting them down, he found the loaded pistol. It ended about as ideally as it could have, Hoekennadel said Tuesday. Abdullah thanked the La Plata County Sheriff's Office for helping process the crime scene. Officers found the 4 rifles and they were able to return the cash to the resident. Drug paraphernalia and drugs were found in the vehicle as well. Solak is being held on a $25,000 bond in the La Plata County Jail.
When did the battle against air pollution essentially begin, or has it yet? For residents of Donora, Pennsylvania, a mill town in a crook of the Monongahela River, the battle began before they knew it. Daily haze from nearby zinc and steel plants was the price of keeping their families fed, the ones that lived, that is. Should it really require killing some to feed others? On October 27, 1948, the city awoke to an unusually sooty sky. The next day, the high school quarterbacks couldn't see their teammates well enough to complete a single pass. The town was engulfed in smog for 5 days until a storm finally swept the pollution out of the valley. By then, more than 1/3 of the population had fallen ill and 20 people were dead. Another 50 perished in the following months. Air pollution isn't over. Researchers from the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health in Boston recently reported on links between air quality and the mortality throughout the entire U.S. Medicare population, more than 60 million people who are aged 65 or older or disabled. While accounting for factors that might confound the results, such as race and socioeconomic status, the analysis published in June in the New England Journal of Medicine found that when pollutant levels rose but remained at levels below national standards, so did death rates from 2000 to 2012. Even with improvements in air quality since the 70s, people haven't stopped dying from the air we breathe. An analysis published in 2013 from researchers at MIT estimated that about 200,000 premature deaths occur each year in the United States because of fine particulate air pollution. A study published in the January in Environmental Health Perspectives reported that daily deaths over a decade in metropolitan Boston peaked on days when concentrations of 3 common air pollutants were at their highest, and this even though those levels would currently satisfy the U.S. EPA. So despite a half-century of progress, airborne grime is still a menace in ways the people of Donora never imagined. Researchers are now finding that more than the lungs are at risk, as dirty air is likely to be an accomplice to some of the greatest threats to public health, including diabetes, obesity, and even dementia. These studies should hopefully inform the ongoing debate over anti-smog rules. The U.S. House of Representatives voted this summer to delay implementation of updated standards for the Clean Air Act.
From the Durango Herald, a year-long trial for electric bicycles will start today, Wednesday. The trial is the culmination of months of meeting on whether to allow the bikes, and it was approved by the Durango City Council in June. The council left the city's ordinance against e-bikes in place, but councilors have previously discussed revisiting the ordinance prohibiting e-bikes after the trial period is complete. E-bikes will be allowed on the Animas River Trail, including adjacent spur connections, Florida Road Trail, and the Gogline Gulch Road Trail. The bikes will also be allowed on the Snowcat Trail on Chapman Hill that links Florida Road to Fort Lewis College. Otherwise, e-bikes are still prohibited on natural surface trails. The trail is also limited to Class 1 and Class 2 e-bikes. On a Class 1 e-bike, the motor kicks in when the rider starts pedaling. Class 2 e-bikes have throttles and the motor can run independently of the rider pedaling. On both bikes, the motors cut out at 20 miles per hour. The city added striping along congested areas of the Animas River Trail and yield signs in preparation for the pilot program. During meetings about a trial period, the city heard many concerns about etiquette on the trail. In response, city staff members encouraged trail users to be respectful to other users and to control their speed, among other common sense measures, in a public awareness campaign. The city of Durango is also providing free bike bells at the Durango Community Recreation Center and Durango Transit Center. During the trial period, residents are encouraged to provide the Parks and Recreation Department with feedback about the pilot program by calling 375-7321 or emailing rec@durangogov.org.
From the Denver Museum of Nature and Science, the Dead Sea Scrolls, the exhibition that has captivated millions around the world, will open at the Denver Museum of Nature and Science next spring on March 16, 2018. The presenting sponsor is Sturm Family Foundation, with major support from Lori and Henry Gordon. The regional premiere of this exhibition is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to see authentic Dead Sea Scrolls, ancient manuscripts that include the oldest known biblical documents dating back over 2,000 years. The scrolls will be dramatically presented within a massive exhibit case featuring carefully regulated individual chambers along with the full English translation. In addition, the largest collection of artifacts from the Holy Land ever assembled for display will allow guests to explore the traditions, beliefs, and iconic objects of ancient Israel that continue to impact world cultures today. The hundreds of objects include inscriptions and seals, weapons, stone carvings, terracotta figurines, remains of religious symbols, coins, shoes, textiles, mosaics, ceramics, and jewelry. The experience features a recreation of the Western Wall from the Old City of Jerusalem with an actual 3-ton stone from the wall believed to have fallen in 70 BCE. Guests may leave their handwritten notes with prayers that will be sent to Israel and placed at the wall. The tradition of putting notes between the stones began centuries ago. The Dead Sea Scrolls represent one of the most significant archaeological discoveries of the 20th century. In 1947, a Bedouin goat herder stumbled upon a hidden cave along the shore of the Dead Sea, near the site of the ancient settlement of Qumran. Concealed within the cave were scrolls that had not been seen for 2,000 years. After extensive excavation, 972 remarkably preserved scrolls were uncovered, leading to decades of extraordinary scrutiny, debate, and awe. The Sturm Family Foundation is honored to help bring these World Heritage artifacts to Denver, said Don Sturm, founder of the Sturm Family Foundation. The Dead Sea Scrolls is organized by the Israeli Antiquities Authority.
And now for the Sheriff's Roundup for the week of September 11th through the 17th. A town resident reported a possible sighting of a recently stolen ATV and trailer. An officer investigated and found the make of the ATV did not match that of the stolen ATV. Dispatch received a call that 2 individuals riding horseback had been injured. The 2 individuals were located and found to be okay and ended up driving themselves to Southwest Memorial Hospital to be checked out. A county resident reported a light on inside a vacant residence. An officer responded and found the home secure. The real estate agent for this property was also notified. Michael Popper was arrested on a warrant out of Utah. A careless driver was reported on Highway 491 at Road P. Deputies did not find the vehicle. Dispatch received a request for assistance to unlock a vehicle. A fire was reported in Rico caused by a wood stove. Rico Fire responded. That's it for this week's updates. Stay tuned for next week's continuing reports.
Today's High Canyon Country Happenings, the Four Corners Beekeepers will present a community talk by Michelle Colapi of the Pollinator Stewardship Council about affordable ways to replace lawns with a pollinator garden for bees. It starts at 6:30 p.m. Friday, September 22nd at Florida Baptist Church, 3296 U.S. Highway 160. Honeybees are unable to pollinate grass lawns, which have shallow roots and require excessive amounts of water. Pollinator plants are deeply rooted, need less water, and provide much needed forage for bees. The event is free and open to all. For more information, call 884-8190. Saturday, September 23rd at the Sunflower Theater in Cortez, the Chimney Choir will be performing starting at 7 p.m. General admission tickets are $12. Chimney Choir combines folk, harmonies, ambient electronics, and swirling textures of rhythm and melody into a style of music that is not easy to define. They began in 2011 with a guitar, banjo, mandolin, and suitcase drum, and have since toured the country extensively, recorded and released 5 recordings, and developed layers of electronics, live looping, and percussion. They still remain fascinated with folk music and traditions while they constantly evolve and experiment. Their performances often take on a theatrical quality that has incorporated puppetry, ritual, dance, storytelling, interactive video, and even a sci-fi mini-drama. Their newest album, Dream, was released November 2016. You can check out the group on Facebook at Chimney Choir. And here in Dove Creek, support your community health clinic with a night out for a spaghetti dinner, pie auction, silent auction, and entertainment. It's Saturday, October 7th at the Community Center from 5 to 7 p.m. Adults are $6, children under 10 are $4. This is sponsored by the Dolores County Health Association Board. And a program note for Channel 32.1, we have a brand new webcam on the top of the courthouse tower after the older one was compromised through a recent power outage. So if you check out the community notices and weather, you'll see the brand new images from the rooftop view. All of the happenings are posted on our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page, along with the YouTube replays, weather, and original stories and local posts. To share your event or information, contact us, dcbnnews@gmail.com, or call us at the station. It's 677-411-9, and we'll be sure to get your news on air.
Thanks for tuning in. News at Noon airs live at noon Monday through Wednesday and then rebroadcast at 3 and 6 p.m. and again re-aired Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in the same order at noon, 3, and 6.
Be sure to check us out on Facebook. It's DCTV News at Noon. Please like us there and share it with a friend.
For Kendra Cook, Jerry Tope, and everyone at DCTV with the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. Thanks for watching.